Hey there, it's Paul Omahony here, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that pretty much makes up a dinner table talk all over the world, which is pretty much, I just don't have enough money to save. Where does my money go every single month? Okay, just before I get started, if you are finding this topic of benefit to you and you want to dig a little bit deeper, feel free to go to our rethinklibrary.com where you can find more information specifically on this topic, and we have free trainings for you in there. So let's look at the question again. So it's kind of a two parts to it. First of all, I don't have enough money to save, and secondly, I'm not sure where the money goes every month. Now, this comes down to a money management challenge, really, more than anything else. For most people, it's not how much money you make that's the problem. It's your lack of money management skills that truly is the issue. You can actually be earning a lot less money than you're on right now, but be on the path to financial freedom by being a better manager of your money. So it comes back to a few basic skills that we don't learn in school. They're not natural for us to do, and they involve procrastinating the instant gratification type of mindset that we have, that we have money and we're going to spend it. 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted something, we used to save for it. That's completely gone now. We just say, if I want it, I stick it on a credit card and I'm going to have it right now. And that transition has happened over a relatively short period of time. So what can we do to help you learn how to save more and understand where your money is going on a day-to-day basis? Well, first things first, I would suggest that you get clarity on exactly how much money you get paid each month and how much you already have organized to leave your bank account immediately. In other words, what direct debits have you in place for whether it's your mortgage or your car loan or whatever specific bills that you have? Interestingly, most of us have automated the process of getting rid of our money. Right, just in case we forget to spend it, it doesn't matter. We already have an automated system in place in the bank to get rid of the money for us. But all of that money is going to others. It's going to third parties. It's going to banks. It's going to companies, businesses. Right, we need to start looking at paying yourself first. And the book I'm referring to is The Richest Man in Babylon, where one of the key factors that it teaches in the book is to pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Now, I remember when I introduced this into my own life, I found it extremely painful. I remember thinking, how can I put money aside for me when I haven't paid all of these other people first? And that's a mindset thing. That's when we've become so accustomed to giving our money away rather than keeping it, it becomes a huge challenge. And so that's one of the very first things you can do is automate a process that 10% of whatever you earn, right, 10% of whatever you earn is paid into a savings account every single month, right in the beginning. I can guarantee you, you're not even going to notice it goes missing. Right? One of the problems we talked about at the start is, where did that money go? Right? It's going to disappear for most people anyway, so why don't you set 10% aside? It goes out as a direct debit on payday every single month, and you just leave it alone for now. The process of learning how to grow that and invest that is for another video. But for now, if we can automate that process, it means we get rid of the emotion associated with saving. It means that we stop focusing on whatever is left over at the end, which is rare if there's anything, that's what you will save. Right? So it becomes automated just like your bill payments. That now means you're going to have a safety net in place, that you're starting to grow this nest egg on the side, and you've automated the process, removes the emotion, you get paid first, which is a very powerful habit. The second thing then I'd like you to look at is actually do an assessment of where your money is going. Go into your bank statements and print out maybe the last 3 months' worth. That's probably enough. And just go through each of the line items one after the other and classify the spend into, let's give it 8 separate buckets so that you can get some control around this. So how much of it is going into physical health? How much is going into learning about money? How much is going into like spirituality or church or charity? So physical, financial, spiritual. How much of it goes into social? Okay, your social life and going out and hanging out with friends or family. So physical, financial, spiritual, social. Mental, how much of it goes into, an education specifically and growing your knowledge? Okay? So first 5 again, physical, financial, spiritual, social, mental. The next 2, vocational. Okay, so how much of it goes into business and learning about business and growing your business? How much of it goes into your family is the 7th. And the final one is fun. And depending on what age you are, you have a much higher likelihood to be focusing on one of these particular areas rather than another. So for example, if you're a teen, most of your money will be spent on social outlets. In your 20s, it'll also be social outlets. In your 30s, if you have a family is going to take over big time for your 30s and your 40s. That's going to rise up to the top. But all we want you to do is to identify this to begin with and see where your money is going. Okay, and then understand that, okay, I can see where this money is going. And here's the thing. If you're not spending any money on areas like wealth and learning how to grow wealth and mental knowledge, you're going to continue in this loop of make more, spend more, make more, spend more. It's only when you start to have a value on money and you have a plan for keeping it that you're actually going to have more money to save. Saving is absolutely essential to have any chance of becoming rich or wealthy. Saving is step 1. You must save and you must pay yourself first. Okay? But once you get that process underway, which you can literally start tonight, right? You can literally set up a bank online direct debit right now to pay yourself whatever 10% is of what you earn each month. That can be done immediately. Then it becomes a process of identifying, as I said, what are the challenges that you're having around money? Where are you spending it right now? And then starting to figure out, am I spending any money on education? Am I putting any time or money or effort into learning how to grow wealth? Because like most people, as we just discussed, your plan is probably automated that when money comes in, it goes out. Right? Even people plan their Christmas bonus, they know exactly where it's going to go before they even receive it. Now imagine you were single and you're planning to hopefully meet your new boyfriend or new girlfriend, but before you even meet them, you've already planned how you are going to dump them. Right? Imagine that. It sounds crazy, right? That before you even meet them, you already know how you're going to ditch them, right? How long is that partner going to stick around? Right? They're not going to stick around long at all because they don't feel appreciated. They know that you plan on getting rid of them. And that's exactly how money works. Money goes from those who have no value on it to those who have huge value on it. It goes from those where there's a depreciation in value to those who appreciate the value of money. And money will always move in that direction. So if you don't have a plan for keeping it and growing it and investing it, money is going to constantly flow through you and out to people on the other side. And I was reading a study recently where they talked about, if you actually divided all the money equally across the planet and all the different individuals on the planet and gave them all the exact same amount, that would only take a couple of years before the money would go straight back to where it is today. Because the plan that most people have who are scarce in money right now, their plan once they get it is to spend it again and to send it back into that cycle. So it's very important that we start to focus on you saving first, then identifying where your money is going, and then reclassifying where you could be spending your money to allow you to save more ultimately and put into a business or put into learning how to invest better and learning how to invest even just from the outset. And then classifying which of the 8 buckets is most of your money going into right now. Because if you don't address that and don't become aware of that, this will continue. Won't matter how much money comes in, it will continue to go out in line with which of those areas is your biggest focus. Right? You will always spend your money in line with your highest value. You'll always say you can't afford what's at the bottom of your values. So for example, if you say you can't afford an educational program or a training program, it's because education is not high in your values right now. And that would be very normal for people. Okay? So we need to address that. And also what I suggest you do is up to 55% of what you bring in each month, that should be only spent on your necessities. You shouldn't spend any more than 55% on your necessities. Now, what are your necessities? Your mortgages, the bills, the Wi-Fi, your phone bills, the food, drink, clothing. Okay? 55% should be what you use to put into your necessities, no more than that. Now, often an objection to that is, well, Paul, look, my necessities don't fit into 55%. Well, the problem there is you're outliving your means. You're actually propelling the growth of debt. Right? You're living beyond what you can actually afford to be living off. So you have 2 choices. You cut your expenses to make sure they fit within 55%, which allows you to get to the next level financially, or you earn more money. You set up a business and you grow more money on the side, so that 55% does cover your current necessities. Okay, and then with the other 45%, we primarily want to put it into savings and investings and into education. And ultimately where you'd love to get to, and what I'd love for you to get to, is you spend half and you save half, which is the perfect balance. You spend half and you save half. Now in other videos I will talk about what you specifically do with those savings and how you can divide them out into other accounts. But for now, we're starting with 10%, and what I'd love for you to do is get that automated, and every 3 months increase how much you are saving by 10%. Now, I don't mean go from 10% to 20%, but I mean go to 10% of that 10%. So what's 10% of 10 is 1. So after 3 months, you should increase your 10% savings to 11%. And then after 3 more months, you increase that by another 1.1%, which will bring you to 12.1%. So basically, every 3 months, you're increasing the amount of savings that you're doing on autopilot by 10%. So this will happen so slowly, really, that you're not even going to notice it happening. You're not going to notice this extra 10% of 10% going out. So you go from 10% to 11% to 12.1% and so on. And this continues to increase every quarter. And it's called the forced accelerated savings technique. Okay, and I came across this from one of my mentors and friends, John DeMartini, and it works for me. It works extremely well for me. And ultimately, you want to keep moving that bar until you get to a point where you're saving half and you can then spend half. And that's when you are totally set up for a financially free life for the rest of your financial career. Now, if you found this useful and there's somebody who is struggling right now financially, and they could benefit from this and the basic tips around what they can do around saving right away, please feel free to tag them in or share this video. And also, please like and feel free to comment below on your experiences, and maybe you could commit to doing this in your comments below, and we'd be happy to read that and allow others to see your comments also. And I really wish you luck in this journey, but the key to this is start immediately. Automate the savings process, do it right now, and then we can start moving together towards the next steps in the journey.